Hey everyone, President Johnson here. And I'd like to welcome you to Discovery Day 2020 at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Now normally I would have the great honor to personally welcome you to campus. However, due to this pandemic that you may have heard about, that's not the case this year. But regardless, please know just how privileged we are that you're learning more about our special mission and cause. I'm in my 13th year as president, and I could not be more grateful to serve our Lord here at WLC. We're just so blessed with remarkable faculty who are so good at what they do. They could live out their vocational callings anywhere, and yet they choose to serve our students here at WLC with such passion and commitment. And despite the obvious challenges of COVID-19, we're having a remarkable year, enjoying face-to-face instruction while welcoming one of the single largest incoming classes ever in our college history. In fact, as we reflect upon the last decade plus, God has grown our enrollment over 60%, bringing us students who desire to receive a top-tier academic experience on our beautiful campus. We are so blessed with phenomenal facilities, and I hope that you can personally come and visit our campus sometime soon and see for yourself. You know, just last spring, we had the great honor of having the ribbon cutting for our new Trefford Commons and our Sports Performance Center. What a blessing. And we also enjoy a vibrant community with our region's medical complex literally across the street. And Milwaukee's growing business district provides remarkable opportunities for our students too. But as I ponder upon our college, upon our students, and our faculty and staff, what strikes me is our unique mission. For the past 48 years, we have existed with this distinct purpose in mind, that we're here to equip our students with an exceptional academic experience grounded in a Christian worldview. We promote spiritual growth for our students so that our students will grow closer to our Savior Jesus. And we prepare our women and men for lives of Christian leadership. You see, at WLC, we define leadership as influence, that all of our students are leaders because they all impact and influence others. And what we know is this, that this world, that our communities, the business community, our churches, families, we're just all in desperate need of moral and ethical, bold and courageous leaders. And that's what we do. We want to change the world, one student at a time, as we prepare them for this course called life, that they leave here one day ready to make a difference and to serve and to love God as they love others. And I recognize that you all have options, but for the here and the now, you're learning more about our WLC family, and thank you. We are so appreciative that you're considering how WLC might be blessed to serve you moving forward. And please reach out to any of us, ask questions, learn about our exceptional outcomes, get to know our faculty and our varied majors, inquire about our significant scholarship opportunities as we make the WLC experience as affordable as possible. Learn more what it means to be a WLC warrior. Thanks again for being part of Discovery Day 2020, and God's blessings.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is our virtual Discovery Day event, our panel portion. So we have a group of people here assembled to help you better understand who we are as a campus family. And I think we'll just start with a couple introductions. So everyone kind of knows each other and knows maybe who to reach out to after the event. So I'm Katie. I'm one of our admissions counselors that helps students through the applying and financial aid process. And then we'll just kind of go around. So, Lucas, if you want to share your name, your role on campus, and then maybe like a quick favorite memory or your favorite spot on campus, go for it.
All right, my name is Lucas Faust. I serve as the Vice President of Enrollment. A proud graduate of WLC, graduated in 2002. So a lot of great memories here as a student, but then also a lot now as a staff member for a lot of years. So I don't know. I think one of my favorite weekends, I'll just say it's a favorite weekend, is just move-in weekend every year. Everyone has been different, but a lot of the same stuff, but it's always just fun and exciting to see the start to a school year, which hopefully everybody watching this will be at in just a couple of months from now. So
Awesome. All right, Dr. Woolley, you want to go next?
Sure. Hello, my name is Rhoda Woolley, and I serve as Dean of Student Success and Retention here at WLC. I think I'm the only one on this panel that's not an alum. I'm in my 13th year here. I also teach in the education faculty. And I'm going to go with favorite locations. I have two that are tied. I absolutely love time in the chapel. And the other place I love is we have this gorgeous saltwater fish tank in our science in Generac Hall. And I like to go over there and just watch the fish sometimes. Welcome, everybody.
Awesome. All right, Adam, you're up.
Oh, you're on mute.
Unmute. There you go.
I'm not the director of technology. I am the director of residence life. Adam Volbrecht. I also coach golf, so I get to do a couple fun things around campus. Get to hang out with our kids that live on campus and support the staff that supports them. And I get to hang out with our athletes and coach there. So I am an alum. I graduated in 2004. I've been back here. I think this is my 14th year back at WLC. Favorite spot on campus is probably fast becoming our new golf center. So we're working on putting the finishing touches on our brand new indoor golf practice area. Probably other favorite place on campus is just walking around the neighborhood, especially in the spring and the fall, and seeing the life coming back and the colors turning and stuff, and checking out all of our campus housing options for our students and seeing how they're decorating and what they're doing. So those are my favorite places.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're all kind of right into some questions here. Again, these are frequently asked questions of students and parents. So we'll do our best to shed some light on our campus culture and what we're all about. My first question here is for Lucas. So we're kind of in the busier season of applying, now looking at financial aid awards and things like that. So if you could just share anything more specifics on what we look for in an application, or any advice that you have for students that are looking at applying or kind of working on it right now, what that would be.
Sure. Well, first of all, just be as open about who you are on your application as possible. We do look at our applications holistically. So I sit on our admissions committee with Dr. Woolley here. The two of us work very closely on this. So we love to see and hear about who students are. There's a lot that we can glean from your transcript, but there's a lot of different things that we'll say. We'll learn about you from your essay or from the resume that you attached, all the things that you put in there, letters of recommendation. So all these different things help us to understand who you are, what your strengths are, and how you'd be able to be a contributor to our programs here at WLC. So just the more detail you can provide to us, the better we get to know you, and the better we can serve you as we get going through this admissions process.
Awesome. All right. And then piggybacking off of that, Dr. Woolley, maybe just listing the resources that we have for our students once they're here, if they're looking for some academic support, or just, wanting to maintain a good GPA all throughout college, maybe some advice or the resources that we have for our academic focus.
Absolutely. So we spend a lot of time thinking about how we can help our students be successful. We know that there's a jump from high school level to college level academics, and we want to make sure that our students get off to a solid start. So couple of different things. First off, we're a small teaching college. Your faculty here, their primary concern, their primary goal is teaching you, helping you understand. And so your faculty, your professors will get to know you. They'll know your name. They'll spend time with you inside of class and also outside of class. They're willing to meet with you. All of our faculty have office hours. Those are times set aside when they're in their office available to meet with students and further discuss things that were happening in the course. So that's the number one thing. The second thing is you're going to have an academic advisor, and that's a person on the faculty or staff who is just a person that you're going to get to know that's going to help you as you transition through your college experience. We also have student success counselors available. If you are struggling with time management, how to organize your notes, test anxiety, those types of things, we have people that can meet with you and help you figure out how your brain works and how to maximize that. And then we also have tutors available. We hire about 40 students every year that are upperclassmen, usually, that are very good in a certain content area. And it's a free service. They meet with students. It's very common. Majority of our students use tutors here. And there's somebody that will sit down and just explain it again or just do homework with you and make sure that you're getting things and understanding things well. And then one other thing, if you're a student athlete, we also have something called Wally, where you meet with your team for 2 hours a week. And we have an upperclassman on your team who is there to kind of mentor and guide you in an academic way as well. So lots of different things that we do to support our students and make sure they're getting off to a solid start and being successful, reaching their goals.
Great. Thank you. All right. Well, kind of transition. I'm kind of just going around here. Adam, next topic that usually comes up is campus safety. So we are between Milwaukee and Wauwatosa. That sometimes comes along with some connotations or things you might see on the news. So if you could just explain what we have in place for campus safety and then just a little bit about our location for everyone out there.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. We do have an awesome location, and it's kind of the best of both worlds, being really close to everything that a big city like Milwaukee has to offer, but really being in a residential neighborhood on the edge of a big city. So we're close to the suburbs and shopping and restaurants during normal times and all the things that our kids can get out and do, and places for our kids to find jobs and get experiences. But we're also close enough to all the great things that a big city has to offer with jobs, internships, cultural events, sporting events. It's been fun for our kids to get involved and do stuff with the Bucks and with the Brewers when they've been good. But I think I get a lot of questions from parents, especially if they're coming from outside of a city environment or from a different state, saying, "Well, it says Milwaukee. Is it safe? Is it going to be safe?" The answer is, yeah, we're a safe campus, and every year, every college across the country has to put up their safety statistics and stuff, so you can look up on our website and see the reports and see just for yourself that we are a safe campus. We have public safety that's staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in addition to all of our staff on campus throughout all of our residential buildings that work to keep kids safe and have a great experience. The other thing that I would probably say about that is, the culture of people looking out for each other is a big piece of what makes this place special, but also makes it as safe as it is. And when you take precautions like, oh, I'm not going to leave my wallet on the dashboard of my car when I park it outside, when I run into my building to grab something, things like that. When you use common sense, it helps to be incredibly safe for yourself and for the others around you.
Great. I'll throw this one out to the group then. Just your thoughts or maybe suggestions, maybe you've heard stories from students on how they tend to get involved on campus, whether that be a sport or an extracurricular. How does that process work, or how do you know what's around campus and what they actually can get involved in?
Well, assuming that I'll be the first one to jump in here, because it's probably my primary area, working with the number of, we have over 40 clubs and orgs that are all student-led, student-run, that run the gamut of interest from, rock climbing to knitting, ultimate frisbee, you name it. there are opportunities for students to get involved and be active and do stuff and find common shared interest with other students. And our director of student program would definitely say, hey, if we don't have it, you got the opportunity to start it. That's part of one of the beauties of being at a small place like WLC is you have the opportunity to impact your experience by your involvement. 40% or just over 40% of our students are student athletes, so that's a vibrant part of our involvement, both being in a sport, and creating those relationships, having those interactions, getting those leadership opportunities, but also supporting others that are going through that as well, in addition to choir and band and theater. It's so cool this fall, even though some of the normalcy to going to a theater is not happening, to see just a really well supported outdoor performance of Shakespeare kind of in the park on our quad, and letting people bring in their blankets and chairs and be distanced, and yet still having some of that vibrant cultural scene that is a college community going on. So I think those, in addition to the daily or weekly type events, with chapel and worship and Vespers, our midweek evening prayer service, coupled with fun things like Monday Madness, Monday night trivias, Fat Tuesdays, where kids just take a break at 9:30 on a Tuesday and line up and get some free food. I think they did Cinnabon outside the other night. So just a lot of really cool opportunities to either get involved with, get experiences, get to know others, shared interaction type things, or really just take a break from your primary mission, which is being a student. And we know that that's at times demanding, and it should be, right? You're getting an education, but you should have some fun along the way.
Awesome. Yeah, it's sometimes harder to decide not to do something and do homework instead. So
Absolutely.
Very cool. Lucas, I'm going to jump back to you. We hear a lot about test optional this year. That's kind of a big buzzword around campuses. Some colleges are, some aren't. Can you just maybe inform everyone what that means, and then your advice on, should students go test optional? Should they try and take a standardized test? What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. From an admission standpoint, we are test optional this year. It kind of was spurred on by all the ACT and SAT exams being canceled last spring, and then our faculty and administration looked at this as an opportunity for us to explore how we do the admissions process here. So no, we do not require an ACT or an SAT. If somebody does submit it, we will use that in consideration. So that's completely up to them if they want to do that. Otherwise, like I mentioned before, we'll look at their application as a whole and basically who they are, what their resume is, things like that. The one benefit that you might have, if you're into the admissions process, no, you don't need it to be considered for admission, but it could be required for different things like programs that we might offer. Some of our partner programs, like we have a really great partner program with the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. They do require an ACT if you would want to participate in their early admission program with them. It also could affect scholarships. You could increase your scholarship if you do down the road decide to take your ACT or SAT to try and boost that scholarship. So there are benefits for you if you do want to do that, but again, those are completely up to you, and if you're pursuing the programs that are attached to that. So
awesome. And then Dr. Woolley, kind of piggybacking off of that, once a student's here, or even when they're looking for a college, we'll get questions about internships and career opportunities and things like that. Students and parents want to know the outcome. What are you going to get after 4 years? So can you maybe answer that big question for them on just how we help students through that process, and what does 4 years later look like after WLC?
Absolutely. That's such a very important question. So, we're going to college to help give us a foundation for the rest of our life. And so it begins right away in your freshman year. You're going to go through something called Strengths Quest, where we're helping you discover how you've been uniquely gifted and talented. What comes easy to you? What are the things helping you discover and explore? How am I gifted? What do I want to do? How do I want to spend my life? We start talking about those types of things in our very first Introductory College 101 course. And then it continues throughout. Your faculty are always being mindful of, how do I give them real world experience? What's this going to look like in the real world if they go into this area? We have a lot of students who come here who aren't exactly sure what they want to do after college, or they might have an idea, and then once they get here, they decide to change their mind. That's absolutely fine. That's what this time is about, is to explore and discover and talk to different people and gain different experiences. A very important experience that we hope every student here has is at least one internship. And that's where you go out into the community and you work. And often for somebody in a field that you're interested in, oftentimes those, you can get paid for them and you can get credit for them if you set it up properly. So, and many of our graduates have actually been hired because of their internships. It's like a long-term interview. And so definitely want to take advantage of internships. We have a department here, Thad Yons is devoted towards internships and helping students with career exploration as they're getting closer towards graduation, thinking about your resume, about mock interviewing and practicing those skills. We have quite a few different networking services where people post jobs where they're looking for our graduates. We work with our alumni who are out in the field to find out what opportunities are available in the areas they're working in to help our students. So lots of different opportunities throughout your whole 4 years to be thinking about discovering who you are, how do you want to grow, what do you want to study, what do you want to do afterwards, and then there's just always support throughout those processes.
Awesome, thank you. We'll segue down to Adam. This is usually a bigger question too. Health services, some kids are coming from right down the road, some are coming from across the country. But no matter what, health services is a big part of, college community and a resource that we do provide. So can you just share, what that building is, who's involved in health services, and then if a student's worried about keeping things confidential, how does that all work here at WLC?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the last 6 months or so, the health services idea or importance to people maybe has taken on a little bit of a different feel. And so we're really fortunate to have a running full service health center on campus that's mind, body, spirit devoted. They're functioning with nurse, doctor hours every week for students to go in and say, hey, woke up this morning with a sore throat. I've been feeling real great, and get an opportunity to meet with a medical professional to find out, hey, I need to be doing as well as I can be doing physically so that I can keep rocking school. And so we have that, and for a lot of our education kids and our nursing kids and stuff that need to have testing done or get shots or whatever it is for their experiences associated with their academic programs, that's kind of the one-stop shop for them to be able to go over there and take care of health-related needs. But also in that building and also available to students is counseling. We work with a partner organization that provides counseling. We have male, female counselors on campus. Students can set that up by text. They don't have to meet with anybody in person. They don't have to interact with anybody from the school. That is all, part of that, confidential options for students that, maybe they're struggling with some new challenges that came into their life, finding out that, college and being away from home is difficult, and they want a resource to talk through some of that stuff with, or maybe they've had some issues that they've come into college with and are looking to continue care to make sure that they're as well balanced as they can be and as supported as they can be to get through school well. And all of those things are set up so that they can succeed academically. We don't want things to get in the way of them to be able to do what they're here to do, and that's to be a student. Our director of health services is a licensed counselor, so she's able to meet with students and triage and help and support and guide kids, and also help them connect with resources that they may need in any of those realms. And then, though it's not in the same building, I'd also throw out campus pastors as another really great resource for kids that are confidential resources for kids maybe that want to explore their faith a little bit differently, or want just a guiding person in their life, or just want someone to listen. I think those are really, really cool options, and we're really fortunate and blessed to have two campus pastors. Pastor Lyon, who has an office in the campus center and is in and amongst students and has some different things. And then Pastor Chevy's over in the athletic department, and actually over in the Rex where his office is, to kind of meet all of our students, where they're at, whatever they're coming into school with, whatever their background is. Those are just some additional phenomenal resources that students can take advantage of, and great people to get to know and guide and support them throughout their journey.
Yeah, lots of people to help, for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, we're kind of nearing the end of our time, so I think last question is a little more open-ended. I'll just have you go around and share just a piece of advice for the incoming students, the juniors and seniors that are maybe a little bit nervous about this whole college thing. Maybe your best piece of advice or something someone told you when you were in their position about how to get ready for college or while you're here. Lucas, we'll just start with you.
Sure. Well, I mean, this group of students, so the ones that are watching us here today are probably going to be some of the most resilient students we've ever met. You've been faced with some challenges that nobody else in history has necessarily been faced with. And I know it's been tough, but I look at each one of you as being gifted with an opportunity to approach this in a different way, and to really take this opportunity seriously when you get here. So you're going to be more equipped to handle some of the challenges of college. You're going to be equipped to navigate some of the changing environment that might be ahead of you. So my encouragement is just embrace what you're doing right now. Every moment is going to be different, and that's going to help prepare you for a really neat journey that's ahead of you too. It's a really cool opportunity that's ahead. And as Dr. Johnson said just before, you guys, this is all about leadership and providing you opportunities to impact the world. So again, I look at your high school experience and then your future college experience as just an amazing opportunity for you to go out and powerfully impact God's world. So that's my encouragement for you.
Dr. Woolley, you want to go next?
Sure, completely agree with everything Lucas just said. And in addition, just as you're transitioning into college, it's like a fresh start. It's a new beginning, and you can come here. The more involved you become, the more people you get to know, just the more fun you're going to have. And we want college to be an excellent academic experience. We want you to be prepared for your career, for your faith life, for leadership, and we also want you to make some friendships that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. So we want you to get involved and to have fun and to have a good time, and just encourage you to do that. So finish out high school strong, and then come in here and make the most of it, jump in, get involved. And this is a place where you can really grow and discover who God has made you to be, and learn how you can serve God by serving the people around you. And that's a pretty special time.
Perfect. All right, Adam.
Dr. Woolley nailed it on the head. I can't add much to that. The experience is what you make of it. Getting involved is a key component, and finding and discovering more about others, more about yourself, and then what you learn through those circumstances, how you can make an impact. And I think those are some of the coolest things about the opportunities here. Grab some of those leadership opportunities, grab some involvement things, go out, expand your world. What is knitting club? Go join a knitting club and find out, right? Try some things out. And then through that, you'll learn a lot. You don't learn much by sitting on the sidelines. So go out and get involved.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know we didn't cover, absolutely every question that might be out there. So if you do have more, just reach out to us. Any of these people here are our general admissions office, and we can kind of segue you to who might have the best answer for you. But with that, we'll just segue into our financial aid presentation. Thanks all to our panel, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, Katie.
Yep. See ya.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Hennon from WLC in the admissions office. a little bit about myself. This is my 21st year in admissions, and I'm really excited to be doing this with our first virtual Discovery Day. And what we're going to be going through today is kind of the admissions process, the financial aid process, and then a little bit about why WLC, why is this maybe the right place for you? So without further ado, we're going to get started, and hopefully you've had a good day so far. I know that you got to see campus a little bit with the tour and got to see some of our panels, and I hope you learned some stuff. I'm hoping that you can learn a little bit from me as well. So a couple things to go through. First is the admissions process. What are we looking for from you when it comes to admissions? Number one, we need you to apply to WLC. Pretty simple for you to do that. If you just go to our wlc.edu website, we should have our application, should have a link, and you should be able to fill that out. If you do our WLC app, it should only take you about 20-25 minutes to do uninterrupted. So that's the first thing that we really want you to do. The other thing that we do accept is the Common App, so you could also do that as another way to apply to WLC. Once you apply, we're going to need you to, number one, request your high school transcripts. If your school can send that through Parchment or some sort of online service. The other way is that your guidance counselor can send an email to your guidance or to your admissions counselors. Either way would be acceptable, but we do need your official high school transcripts so that we can evaluate that. The next thing that we're going to need is for you to request either your ACT or SAT test scores. Okay, if your ACT is an 18 or higher for WLC or a 940 or higher for your SAT, then we would want you to submit that if you've taken it. That will help you get admitted to WLC a little bit faster and possibly qualify for a higher scholarship, which we're going to talk about later on in this presentation. If you scored 17 or lower, then you could potentially apply as test optional. So those are their different options for you to apply and get admitted to WLC. Okay, then the admissions decision comes up. Okay, after we get your paperwork for that, we will make a decision. Okay, WLC here, we admit students on a rolling basis. So what that means is the minute that we get your paperwork, we will make a decision on your application. There are times where if your scores are not high enough, whether that be your GPA or your ACT, there would be a slightly different process that you would have to go through that would take a little bit longer. But it's a pretty straightforward process. If you meet our requirements, we can get you admitted very quickly. So the next thing is after you've been admitted to WLC, there will be your housing and enrollment deposit. What this is it's a money that you would send into WLC, and it reserves your spot in our classroom. It will also reserve your spot in our residence halls. Okay, it's a $300 deposit, which is completely refundable up until May 1st. All right, so you can get that back if you decide to go somewhere else. It is also $300 that gets applied to your first year's tuition. So it's money you're going to end up paying anyways. So if you're thinking that we're one of your top 2 schools, this might be something you're going to want to do because it does a couple of things for you. One is that it gives you a little bit better chance of preference in the residence halls. Okay, the sooner that you deposit, the better it is for you to get that preference. If you have questions about getting in your deposit, certainly feel free to talk to your admissions counselor about that. That's kind of the admissions process and the guidelines. Next thing is what most people are looking to find out about is the financial aid and resources. Okay, financial aid. Now, after you've been admitted, and you can do this while you're in the admissions process, but after you've been admitted, there's going to be a process for financial aid. Here's how this works. When you send in your forms for financial aid, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, there's a couple of things happening. One, each school has what they call cost of attendance. As you see on your screen, that includes your tuition, your fees, your room and board, books, supplies, transportation. A couple of those things they get looked at, and that comes into this total cost of attendance. What we do then is we subtract your scholarships and gift aid. Okay, so your merit scholarships, any other types of grants or scholarships are considered gift aid. That's money that does not need to be repaid. So we subtract that from your cost of attendance, and that comes up with what we call your net price. The net price is a very important number as you're kind of comparing schools and financial aid offers. The net price is the actual number that you want to compare because that's what you're actually going to pay for school at the end of the day. Then what we do is we take your net price and we subtract work study and loans from it. Work study is something you can qualify for through your FAFSA, and it's money that is paid to your student for working on campus. Your work study can come in a check that is paid directly to you. The other thing that is figured into is loans. There's two different kinds of loans. There's a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan. The difference is subsidized loans are loans that once you take it out, the interest does not accrue on the loan. So if you take out a loan on day one, the loan will cost you the same when you graduate as it did on the first day. The other loan that's out there is the unsubsidized loan. That loan, the minute you take the loan out, the interest on the loan will accrue. So if your loan costs you $2,000 on the first day to take that out for school, it will cost you more when you graduate. In either case for the loans, you do not have to pay the loans back until after you graduate. 6 months after you graduate is when the loans will kick in. And if you're on a subsidized loan, the interest will start accruing on it. So after we subtract work study and loans from your net price, that comes up with your out-of-pocket expense for the current year. That is the actual amount that you have to pay by the start of the school year so that you can start in class. A couple of good resources as you're going through this, because sometimes you might be going through this, be wondering what you should be doing, when you should be doing it. Okay, number one is if you go to our website, our WLC website, and go to the financial aid page. Here's the link for it. If you go to that page, this is what it's going to look like. It's beautiful because it sets things up in really just 2 easy steps. So there's 2 things you need to do so that you can get your financial aid offer from us. Number 1, you need to complete your 21-22 online WLC financial aid application. This is WLC's form, which is maybe 2 pages long that we need. We ask a couple extra questions so that we can see if we can give you more money. So that is the first thing that we definitely need you to do. And then number 2, we will also need you to complete a FAFSA form. Okay, the FAFSA is a free form for those of you that are not sure what it is. It's a federal form. It's free to fill out. And basically it figures out a number for you, your expected family contribution. And every school uses that number to put your financial aid offer together. Those are the 2 steps that we need you to do. In certain cases, sometimes there are families that are requested what they call up for verification, which is randomly selected by the government. If that becomes you, there will be some extra documents we'll need to collect from you, but we will certainly let you know what those are and when we need those. But this page coming here helps you and lays it out pretty easily, and there's some very good phone numbers on here for you to contact. Our financial aid office is fantastic. They're one of the best around in terms of getting back to you and talking to you about some of the questions that you have. If you do have questions about financial aid, I would get in touch with our financial aid office. The next place that's really good to go to is on the fafsa.ed.gov site. Okay, this is where you're going to go to complete your FAFSA. Okay. The FAFSA process, if you haven't started it, you would start it here. You can also come back here if you're a returning user. Sometimes you need to come in and correct information, or if you want to add a school. But of course, if you're looking at WLC, you probably won't need to be adding schools because you're going to know you want to come by us. But if you need to correct any information, sometimes families forget to sign it. Okay, then you can come back here. This is how you would correct it. So if you need to, you would come back here to do it. So to start a FAFSA and also to correct information is where you would go for this. but that is the FAFSA website on the financialaid.gov. All right, and then the third place that's really good here is at the studentaid.gov. Okay, this is going to look like this. Okay, every family needs to get an FSA ID, and this is where you're going to do that here. Okay, your FSA ID is basically your electronic signature. Okay, you can sign your master promissory notes, that's for your loans, complete your loan counseling. So when you want to get a loan, you need to go through the loan counseling. You'll do that all from here. Okay, and then you can see what items are needed to create an account. Okay, but everybody needs to get their FSA ID. Both parents and students need to get that. These are great resources so that you can have a better understanding on how to go forward with this. So what's the timeline for financial aid? Okay, we talked about admissions a little bit, okay, in your timeline. And I would say for admissions, definitely get going on your applications now and get yourself admitted, because financial aid offices won't typically do anything for you until you've been officially admitted to the institution. So for like WLC, you need to get admitted first before we'll do any offers for you. But as you're going through the application process, you can start going on your financial aid. Okay, so what should you be doing right now? Get your FSA ID. We just talked about that. A parent and a student attending the college will need their FSA ID. So you each need to get one. That, again, is your electronic signature. Number 2, okay, fill out your FAFSA using your 2019 tax returns. We say that again, your 2019 tax returns. So they should all be completed already. So you just pull that information off of there. FAFSA is a very long form, asks for a lot of financial numbers. So you're going to want to have your tax returns in an easy spot that you can look at so that you can fill this form out. Again, the FAFSA is done online. It can be done very easily. And what you will do is you put our code on there, put WLC's code on your FAFSA, and that your FAFSA results will get sent directly to us so that we can put an offer together for you. Once that's done, then we'll be able to do your offer. And typically, if you get this done soon, we'll be able to get offers typically out in December and then thereafter. Okay, you'll start receiving those in letters from the different schools. The last thing then is after you get your offer from us, you will then want to accept your WLC financial aid offer. By accepting your offer, which you will do online, you will be basically reserving all that money for yourself or for your son or daughter. That's what accepting the financial aid offer is. It's basically reserve that money for me, basically saying I do intend to come to WLC. Once you accept your financial aid offer, you're pretty much set until springtime when we start getting classes picked out for you, which is down the road. And your admissions counselor will be working with you to get that all set up once your deposit is in and we get to springtime and getting your classes picked out. So that is your financial aid timeline. Now we've talked a little bit about financial aid a little bit, okay? Now, why WLC? Why would you want to come here? Okay, number 1, we want to look at fit. Okay, number 2, the different experiences that you can get. And then the number 3, let's talk about costs. Those are the 3 things that we're looking at. Now, when we talk about fit, okay, fit comes in a couple of different ways. Number 1, you can fit in academically, and that is a huge thing. A lot of people look at seeing how are they going to fit socially, and that's also equally as important. Okay, do you fit the institution you're looking at? Is it the type of school that you want? Is it Christian? Is it not? Is it big? Is it small? So that's going to fit you socially. But academically is a different kind of fit. So depending on your scores, do you fit the institution that is going to be challenging enough, or is it going to be too hard for you? So you're going to want to, that's how you're going to fit in a number of different ways. The other thing you want to look at is what are the different experiences that you can get? One thing that's really important on our campus is getting real world experiences. That could be in the way of internships, clinical experiences for education and nursing, travel opportunities. Of course, going through what we're going through right now with COVID, there's no guarantee of when we're going to be able to do some of those experiences in terms of travel back again. But those are things that you want to look at, because I would say sometime within the next 4 years, I would imagine that we'll be back to traveling and getting you those travel experiences again. We have all sorts of different travel opportunities for you. We have student abroad, and what are those real life experiences, and what kinds of things are going on in campus so that you can enjoy your college experience. Okay, what does the campus do to keep you occupied? Of course, you should be studying, but are you going to games? Are there things going on? We have a Tuesday night, Fat Tuesday night, where there's free food. We have a number of different things to enhance your experience on campus so that you can enjoy being a student at WLC. The last thing we talk about is costs a little bit. Okay, what are the scholarship opportunities that schools have? Okay, for WLC, we have our merit awards and scholarships. The link just showed up on your screen. Okay, this is what it's going to look like on our website. You may have gotten this email to you as well, but we offer up a number of different merit scholarships. Okay, earlier I talked about scholarships and grants. Okay, as a way of gift aid. These are those scholarships. Okay, we have a combination of GP and ACT that we put together that will help you qualify for one of these 4 scholarships. They range anywhere from $7,000 to $17,000 a year, and they are renewable up to 4 years. Okay, so you will be guaranteed a certain amount of money because of the hard work you put in the classroom. The other scholarships that we have are some fine arts scholarships. Okay, if you're interested in art, music, or theater, these are scholarships that you can audition for. Again, for these, you need to be admitted to audition for them. Auditions happen at the end of November, so you're going to want to get going on this. Okay, again, you have to be admitted to WLC to audition for these scholarships. For this year, these scholarships will be done virtually. They'll be done online through some sort of video that you'll be doing for your music and theater scholarships. But these are also renewable, and you do not need to be a major or a minor to get these scholarships. So this is a great opportunity if you're into any of these things to get some additional money. All right, why here? There's a lot of schools out there for you to look at. And I'm just going to show you a couple of these third parties that have ranked WLC pretty high. Number one, niche.com is becoming a pretty big thing out there that offers up college rankings. And WLC has been rated as one of the 100 best Christian colleges in the country, 24th in the nation, first in the state. And we've been named as WLC as the best Christian college in Wisconsin for 2021. Because there's something that you should know, is that we are still very much a Christian school. It is important what we do. We have chapel opportunities. We have Vesper services. We have 2 campus pastors. It is important what we are, and this is certainly something that we need today in today's world, that's for sure. So niche.com has a number of key statistics and has us rated very high. Okay, another one, best value for your schools. Okay, WLC is ranked 10th in the state and 4th among private colleges for best value. So what that's basically saying here is that you are going to get great value for what you're going to pay for school here at WLC for your 4-year education. All right, Washington Monthly. Okay, this is a big one. All right, I'm pretty sure that you've all got a chance to, kind of get to see WLC and see what we have, but we're best bang for our buck. Okay, another thing. Okay, again, getting into the value aspect and the affordability of WLC. All right, so that pretty much sums up kind of your admissions and your financial aid. If you've got questions about any of this stuff, certainly feel free to reach out to us. Here are some different ways that you can reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and some of these other things. But you can also reach out to your admissions counselor. We will get to know your students as well as we can. But if you got a question, feel free to get in contact with us. Certainly are excited that you came on here today, and we look forward to seeing you for a regular visit on campus. Thank you so much.